10 celebrities who disappeared under strange circumstances.
At the time Amelia went missing, World War II was about to start. Japan and America were beefing over military expansion.
It's one of the most terrifying things that can happen to someone, vanishing without a trace. No final goodbye, no explanations, just gone. And when it happens to the rich and famous, it leaves behind more questions than answers. Hollywood is full of dark secrets, but few are as chilling as the stars who disappeared without a trace. Some vanished at the peak of their careers, others walked out of their homes and were never seen again. Their stories are filled with eerie coincidences, cryptic final messages, and theories that range from sinister conspiracies to the true strange circumstances. Tonight, we unravel 10 celebrities who disappeared under the strangest circumstances. You'll be shocked by number 5 and number 1. But beware, some of these stories may leave you questioning reality itself. 10. The disappearance of Richie Edwards. It was February 1st, 1995, and Richie Edwards, the troubled guitarist of the Manic Street Preachers, was supposed to board a flight to the US for a press tour, but he never showed up. In the days leading up to his disappearance, he withdrew €2,800 in cash, a suspiciously large amount, and checked out of his London hotel room. His car was later found abandoned near the Severn Bridge, a known suicide hotspot. But here is where things get strange. Despite the official ruling that Edwards likely took his own life, numerous sightings of him were reported over the years in Goa, India, in the Canary Islands, even in a bar in England. Some believe he staged his own disappearance. Others think something far more sinister happened. To this day, his body has never been found, and his fate remains one of the rock music's greatest mysteries. 9. The vanishing of Michael Rockefeller. Born into one of America's most powerful families, Michael Rockefeller had everything: wealth, privileges, and access to the world's most exclusive circles. But in 1961, the heir to the Rockefellers' fortune vanished without a trace while exploring the jungles of New Guinea. The official story: his boat capsized and he tried to swim to the shore but drowned. But locals tell a much darker version. Rumors swirled that he was captured by an indigenous tribe known for cannibalism. Some even claim to have seen his skull among their collection. Others whisper that Rockefeller chose to abandon his privileged life and integrate into the tribe. But here is the most chilling part. Years later, an American traveler came forward with a grainy photograph of a bearded white man among the tribe's warriors. Was it Michael? No one knows for sure. 8. The mysterious case of Konya Canvas. Before Bob Dylan, before Johnny Mitchell, there was Konya Canvas, a singer, songwriter in the 1950s, whose music was ahead of its time. She poured her soul into haunting folk ballads, but no one paid attention. By 1974, disillusioned and depressed, she wrote letters to her family saying she was leaving to start over. She packed her things into a Volkswagen Beetle and drove off into oblivion. Not a single trace of her has ever been found. No financial records, no sightings, nothing. It was as if she had never existed. But decades later, her music was rediscovered, and suddenly, the world was obsessed with the woman who wrote songs about vanishing before she actually did. 7. The unsolved mystery of Ambrose Bierce. Ambrose was one of the Americans' most celebrated writers, known for his dark, cinematic short stories. But in 1913, he wrote one last letter before walking into Mexico and into oblivion. The letters read, "As to me, I leave here tomorrow for an unknown destination." It was the last anyone heard from him. Some say he was executed by Pancho Villa's revolutionaries. Others believe he faked his own death. But the strangest theory, that Ambrose himself became trapped in one of his own era stories, forever lost in the realm of fiction. Over a century later, his fate remains one of literature's most baffling mysteries. 6. The disappearance of Oscar Zete Acosta. If you've seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, you might remember Dr. Gunvo, a wild, drug-fueled lawyer based on real-life activist Oscar Zeta Acosta. In 1974, Acosta made a phone call to his son from Mexico and was never seen again. Was it a drug deal gone wrong, a political assassination, or, as some conspiracy theorists claim, did he intentionally vanish to escape the US government? Whatever the truth is, Acosta walked into the darkness and never returned. Number 5. The strange disappearance of Jean Spangler. Jean Spangler was a rising actress in 1949, a woman with the movie star looks and a promising career ahead of her. But in the evening of October 7th, 1949, she kissed her daughter goodbye, told her sister she was meeting her ex-husband, and walked out of the house, never to return. 2 days later, her purse was found in Griffith Park, its strap torn as if it had been ripped from her hands. Inside was a cryptic, unfinished note. Kirk, can't wait any longer, going to see Dr. Scott. It will work best this way while mother is away. The biggest theory. The Kirk mentioned in the note was Kirk Douglas, the famous Hollywood actor, though he denied knowing her well, and Dr. Scott, no one ever found out who he was. Some believed Jean Spangler was killed by the Hollywood underground, possibly connected to an illegal abortion. Others think she was involved in the mafia, but one thing is clear: Spangler disappeared into the shadows of the air, leaving behind only questions. 4. The vanishing of Earhart, the Prime Minister who disappeared. It's not every day that a head of state vanishes without a trace, but that's exactly what happened to Earhart, the Prime Minister of Australia. On December 17, 1967, Earhart decided to go swimming at a secluded beach despite the rough waves and dangerous conditions. He walked into the ocean and was never seen again. A massive search operation followed. Hundreds of divers, military aircraft, and volunteers scoured the waters. Not a single trace of him was ever found. Was it an accident? That's the official story, but conspiracy theories say otherwise. Some believe Earhart was a spy who faked his own death and defected to China. Others whisper that he was assassinated and the disappearance was staged. A prime minister doesn't just disappear without leaving a body. Yet, decades later, Earhart remains an unsolved mystery. 3. The bizarre case of Bison Dele, the NBA star who vanished at sea. Bison Dele had it all: an NBA championship ring, millions of dollars, and a desire for adventure. But in 2002, he disappeared in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, along with his girlfriend and boat captain. The only person left alive, his own brother, Miles Dabble. Dabble returned to shore alone, using his brother's identity to withdraw money. When police caught up to him, he overdosed on insulin and died, taking whatever secrets he had to the grave. Authorities believe Dabble murdered everyone on the boat, dumped their bodies, and tried to steal his brother's fortune, but without physical evidence, the case remained unsolved. Bison Dele's disappearance is a chilling reminder: even the strongest, richest people in the world can simply vanish. 2. The mysterious disappearance of Dorothy Arnold. Dorothy Arnold wasn't a celebrity in the traditional sense. She was a wealthy New York socialite, the daughter of a prominent perfume magnate. But in 1910, she became famous for something else, disappearing into thin air. On December 12, she left her Manhattan home to buy a book. Witnesses saw her walking down Fifth Avenue, smiling carefree, then gone. Her family, too embarrassed to admit she was missing, waited weeks before telling the police. But then, it was too late. Some believe she was murdered and buried beneath Central Park. Others think she started a new life under a different name. But in the end, she became one of the high-profile missing persons cases in American history. A mystery that remains unsolved over a century later. 1. The area case of Amelia Earhart, the most famous disappearance in history. Amelia wasn't just a celebrity, she was a legend, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, a pioneer of aviation, a symbol of courage. But in 1937, while attempting to circumnavigate the globe. She and her navigator, Fred Noanan, vanished without a trace. Her last recorded words: "We are running low on fuel. We are on the line 157-337. Then radio silence. For decades, theories have run wide. Did she crash into the Pacific Ocean? Was she captured by the Japanese and forced to live under a new identity? Or did she secretly survive and live out the rest of her life in hiding? In 2017, researchers found what they believed to be her remains on a remote island, but without undeniable proof. Amelia's fate remains the most famous disappearance in history, and perhaps the greatest mystery of them all. Disappearances like this remind us that fame and fortune doesn't make you untouchable, whether it's the dark side of Hollywood, hidden conspiracies, or the power of the unknown. Some mysteries are never meant to be solved. Which of these stories do you think is the most chilling? Let me know in the comments. And if you love uncovering the darkest secret of the rich and famous and Hollywood itself, don't forget to subscribe for more chilling mysteries. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe. Thanks.